Yes, spotted, right? In the regard. Well, so right. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Well, correlation and regression, the module 3. So in this module, at the end of going through this module, you are supposed to be expected to fit a simple linear regression, a multiple linear regression for a given tabulated data, and also you are supposed to discriminate what is partial and multiple correlation, and the importance of partial and multiple correlations you will come to know, right? Now let us, as I briefed in the last session, by taking some data, something like this, the day wise and the number of COVID cases. Okay, so we have some tabulated data. Sometimes this may be the time, this may be the response time of some instrument. Okay, okay, so hourly, and what is the units that is producing by the manufacturing company or something like that. You can take this as production with respect to the day. Okay, so likewise, whatever the way you are treating the variables, it is up to your wish. But right now we are interested to look into the appropriate linear relationship between the two variables. One may be treated as a dependent variable, and the other is treated as response. What is that? Explanatory variable. Okay, that is called independent variable. Okay, now in order to estimate or forecast the future value, or to estimate the value within the given domain of the x, within the given domain of y with respect to something like ax. Okay, so you need to have some mathematical formula. How best we can choose an appropriate mathematical formula is important. How do we come to know that our model, whatever we have chosen, is a better model for that? So if you wanted to know that point, first thing is that you need to plot the tabulated data on the Euclidean plane. You need to plot the tabulated points on the Euclidean plane, and then see the overall trend of the distribution of the data points on the Euclidean plane. Then assume the appropriate relationship among the dependent and independent variables. Based on your assumption, you can go for estimating the parameters involved in that model. So how do you estimate that parameters is matters? So for that we have method of least squares technique. So that is coming under regression. Okay. Now a regression is basically particularly a simple linear regression is basically represents a line that best describes the linear relationship between the independent variable say x and the dependent variable y. Okay. What is regression line? The line that best describes the linear relationship between the independent variable say x and the dependent variable say y. So in general, we may take this linear relationship as y is equal to a plus bx, where a is the response value of y when x is 0, and b is treated as the slope of the regression line. If b is positive, so your regression line means that the variables x and y are positively related. If b is negative, then x and y are negatively related, means that there is a behavior between x and y in the opposite direction. Means that if x decreases, y may increase, and if x increases, y may decrease when b is negative. Okay. When b is positive, x and y have the same behavior, means that both x and y either decreasing manner or in the increasing manner. Okay. Well, so as I said, method of least squares. So this method of least squares is a technique which provides the least amount of sum of squares of the vertical distances of the data points from the line. So means that once you fit the data into some linear regression, I showed you some time back, I guess. Yeah, see that. So this is the data that from June 14 to July 14 COVID cases of 2020, 1 month data approximately. See that we have some tabulated points. The tabulated points are somewhere here, and all these tabulated points are joined. So during the last June, it seems that some increasing trend is there, but of course there is a parabolic behavior also can be noticed in this. But if I wanted to fit this data with the help of simple linear regression, say the red color one, you can also fit that. Okay. So now the vertical distance is in the sense. So from this true point to the line, what is the distance? Perpendicular distance. That is called vertical distance. Okay. So sum of the squares of these perpendicular distances means that if there are n tabulated points, so n di's will be there. Sum of the squares of those di's, d1 square plus d2 square plus and so on plus dn square, will give us sum of the squares of the deviations or the errors. If that deviation is the least amount possibly, then we say that the relationship which you assumed on the tabulated data is approximately correct, and that you can use for your estimation or forecasting or whatever the purpose you want to use, you can use that. Okay. Right. Now, the interesting point is that, as I said, the xi, yi xi, comma yi, I is equal to 1, 2, and so on n. There are n tabulated points. Remember, there are n tabulated points. Okay. Then if you are going to assume the relationship something like y is equal to a plus bx, a plus bx, a plus bx, the residual error The residual error is the error that is the difference between the true yi and the predicted yi. Okay, so that means the residual error, say or e is equal to so y minus yi, or simply y minus, as I said, yp. What is yp? Let us suppose this can be treated as yp predicted line. Y is the true value, yp is the predicted line, predicted points of y with respect to x. Then this is the error, and this error I may denote as RE or DI. Okay. Now, sum of the squares of this error, it is y minus yp. As I said, sum of the squares, then sigma y minus yp whole square. This can be rewritten sum of y. What is yp expression? Something like a plus bx. Yes, bx. Then whole square. Now let us look at carefully. This y is the discretized point, so y can be rewritten in the form of yi, and x may be rewritten in the form of xi. Right? Now let us look at here xi, yi are the tabulated points which are known points. What are the parameters which are not known in this relationship?
So A and B.
A and B, right. So if you know the values of exact values of A and B, which is going to satisfy in this relationship, then this yp you can use for your estimation or for forecasting purpose. Then how do we estimate the values of A and B with the help of the given tabulated points is matters, and that too this sum of the squares of the deviations should be reasonably less. Okay. What is the technique that we can follow now? Can you give idea so that this error is minimum? As you said, it is involves A and B. Is it? Can I treat this as a function of A and B?
Yes, sir.
If I treat this as function of A and B, how do I? If you have a function of two variables, how do you test the minima or maxima? Hello. You forgotten the topic of maxima and minima in calculus for engineers? What you studied for function of two variable?
Second derivative.
Sorry. Someone is saying something.
So we will find the derivative with respect to x, and then we will equate it to 0, and
Remember,
then
your xi is a fixed value here, right? Something
Oh,
like 1,
so
2,
so
3,
in
4,
the
5, 7. And
Okay.
your yi is something like 81, 89, and so on. So these are known values, right? If you are going to differentiate, do you whether you are going to differentiate a function with respect to constant or something like as a variable
So we will differentiate with respect to A and B.
which is not known, right?
Yes, sir.
So then what are the variables here or the parameters which are not known here?
The A and B.
So therefore, you need to differentiate this expression with respect to A and B, right?
Yes,
As it
sir.
is a function of A and B, whether you are going with ordinary differentiation or partial differentiation.
The partial differentiation.
So let us look at what are the first order partial derivatives of this function. Let us suppose this if I denote as something like FAB. Okay. Now I need to find out dou F by dou A, and this partial differential operator should equate to 0. Then what we get?
B.
What we get? Dou F by dou A into this thing, sigma yi minus. It seems to be a differential operator satisfies the linearity property. So dou by dou A of sum dou by dou A of this expression, right? And then equate to 0. So what is the resulting expression you are going to get? This summation, dou by dou A of A plus B whole square, A plus Bx whole square. What is the formula? Something like A plus Bx form, right? Hello? What is the
Yes, sir.
derivative
So,
of x square?
so it
Derivative
will
of
be
x square.
0. So 0.
Now this, what is the derivative of x square? In general.
So 2x.
Right. Now is it seems to be something like A plus Bx whole square form?
Yes, sir.
So then what is the derivative of A plus Bx whole square with respect to A form?
So 2 into A plus Bx.
Right. So something like 2 into this yi minus A plus Bx into the derivative of inside term with respect to A. Derivative of yi with respect to A, what is the answer?
So 0.
0. Derivative of minus of A plus Bxi with respect to A, what is the answer?
So it will be 1.
Minus 1, right?
Yes, sir.
Minus 1.
Minus 1, which is equal to 0. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, can you simplify this step? This minus 2 is going to right side. 0 by minus 2 is something like 0. Then what is the expression you have leftover expression?
So yi minus A plus
Sigma
Bxi.
yi and A plus Bxi also you take to the right side. Sigma A plus Bxi, right?
Yes, sir.
Then sigma y is equal to A, you are adding how many times? Sigma A. A is supposed to add how many number of times?
So n times.
N times. So A adding n times, what is the resulting answer?
So an.
Na.
Yes, sir. Na.
Na. Then plus B times sigma xi, right? Forced to end this. This is not saved much. Okay, well, as I said, quickly I type the things. Xi comma yi, which is equal to sorry, I is equal to 1, 2, and so on n tabulated points. Okay. Now you understood. You may be assuming the relationship something like a predicted relationship is something like a plus bx, and then the residual error or simply the error is recording as something like y minus y underscore p. Okay. So now we wanted to minimize this error. In order to minimize the sum of the squares of this residual error, we are going to consider the sum of y minus y underscore p whole square, right? And this implies I may be taking the notation something like sigma y is replacing with yi minus a plus b xi whole square, which I am treating as a function of ab, applying differentiating with respect to x with respect to a partially, we get the partial first order partial derivatives dou f by dou a, which is equal to something like 2 times so yi minus a plus bxi into minus 1, and equating this to 0. What is the expression we got? And
So it would
summation
be
is missing here, and I'm adding the summation. Sigma yi is equal to, and this quantity is taken to the right side, is it sigma a plus bx? Hello?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then if the sigma is taken inside, this expression again can be rewritten as in the form sigma yi is equal to n times a, right? N times a plus b times sigma xi. Is that right? Why I have taken
Yes.
n times a?
Yes, sir.
Because you are going to add a sigma a, that is adding a n times y n times, as there are n tabulated points. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, whether you are getting one equation by equating first order partial derivative with respect to a, this I am denoting as equation 1. Now, similarly, if you go with partial differential operator with respect to b, then what is the resulting answer? Sigma 2 yi minus a plus bxi. What is the coefficient of b? Is it xi?
Yes, xi.
Now it is multiplying over here. Then take this summation inside. So 2 goes to right side minus 2, then 0 by minus 2 is 0. Sigma yi into xi. So sigma xi yi is equal to a plus b sigma xi into xi. And this result as something like sum. So that is a sigma xi plus b sigma xi into xi xi square. Sigma xi square. This I may denote as equation 2. Do you understand equation 1 and 2 clearly?
Yes, sir.
How we obtained? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, if you look at equation 1 and 2, is they are linear or non-linear?
So then, sir, equation 1 is linear, equation 2 is non-linear.
Okay, who is saying this answer?
So Anmol.
Anmol. So why equation 2 is not linear?
So because it has xi square.
Okay. What is xi basically? Is it a variable or a constant?
Oh, okay, sir. So it is linear.
Right, understood, all of you? Xi square,
Yes.
though it is present xi square. So here these are the day representing may x and the number of COVID cases may represent y. Xi, sigma xi is something like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 and so on. So that sigma x square, squaring of these xi values and add them remains constant, right? So this will be constant, this will be constant, and this is constant. Only a and b are unknowns here. And here also sigma yi is constant, n is constant, sigma xi is constant, a and b are unknowns. Now you have equations 1 and 2 represent together, represent a system of linear equations. Solving, we get the values of a and b, right? So now one interesting thing is that, okay, somehow I may get some linear relationship by solving. How do I guarantee that this will produce least amount of error now? When do you say that a function is minimum? When it is a function
So
of
when
two
the slope,
variables. Sorry?
so when the slope is 0 and the points in the neighborhood are at the higher value.
Okay. So in terms of the maximum and minimum concept, can you say something? Can you remember? Don't you go for second order partial derivatives?
Yes, sir.
Dou square f by dou square f by dou a square. Say this you may be denoting something like r. What is the value? Dou square f by dou a square. from this? Now this is the expression, right? So a coefficient is already here -1, -1 into -1 plus 1. Is it resulting something like 2?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Or is 2, dou square f by dou s square is 2. Then what
Yes.
is dou square f by dou b square?
So it should be -2. It should be plus 2x I square.
Dou square f by dou b square is equal to something like this one, right? 2 into minus plus. This is a xi into xi square. Seems that 2xi square, right?
Yes, sir.
Sigma also there, isn't it?
Yes,
And
sir.
here also sigma is there. I forgot this, adding this sigma. Is it resulting 2n here? Because this is 2 and sigma is there. 2 you are going to add n times. Then is it resulting 2n? Hello? Got it?
Yes, sir.
That will be into or comma. You have written.
So
Yes,
this
yes.
is comma. This is comma.
Okay.
Sigma 2 xi square, right? Dou square f by dou b square, right?
Yes, sir.
So, or this may be treating as t. What is s then? Or st? Dou square f by dou a dou b, right? Now differentiate this one with respect to a. What is the answer you are going to get? Dou f by dou b with respect to
So 2xi.
2xi, right? Sigma 2xi,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Sigma 2xi. Right? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us have a look. What is that RT minus S square? R is 2n. Minus, no, sorry, 2n into 2xi square, right? Isn't it? Summation is there. right?
Yes, sir.
Minus s square. And then you need to identify whether RT minus S square is going to be greater than 0 or less than 0, or from this again R is greater than 0 or less than 0. See that R is greater than 0 here, right? N is positive, 2 is positive, right? N number of data points is always positive, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
And now RT minus S square is supposed to be greater than 0 and R is greater than 0 by chance. By chance, what can we say? FAB attains minima or maxima? Hello? RT minus S square is greater than 0 and R is greater than 0. Then the function attains minimum or
Sir.
maximum?
Minimum.
Like this, the condition may meet if we keep on simplify very carefully. As the derivation, complete derivation is not required, and that too, this is again hanging. It is struck to type. Okay. Let's keep on surfing. Then I just so I'm just giving the idea how it is going to minimum. Okay. Right.
Yes, yes, sir.
The proof is not required. So if you proceed that, you may get theoretical verification or analytical process of showing that the amount of residual error is going to be the least. Okay, right?
Yes, sir.
And the equations which I denoted there, 1 and 2, may call as the normal equations. Okay. Now you quickly note down the formulas involved in regression, and we take a simple example. Okay. Can you note down this slide? The examples in this, the points on this slide. The slope of the regression line of the form y is equal to a plus bx is given by b equal to rho xy. What is rho xy here? Is denoted by the coefficient of correlation between x and y. Okay. And sigma y is the standard deviation of y. Sigma x is the standard deviation of x. Right. And the formula for rho xy, coefficient of correlation between x and y. Coefficient of correlation between x and y. Rho xy is the coefficient of correlation between x and y, is equal to sigma xi by I by n minus sigma xi by n into sigma yi by n, under root of sigma xi square by n minus sigma xi by n whole square into under root of sigma yi square by n minus sigma yi by n whole square. So in other words, this b can be expressed as sigma xi yi minus 1 over n sigma xi into sigma yi whole divided by sigma xi square minus 1 over n sigma xi square. Okay. So the slope is generally equals to the rate of change in the values of the response variable. What the slope represent in physical significance? The rate of change and the values of the response variable. That's what we used to write dy by dx form, right? M is equal to dy by dx or something like that, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So that is what here also. So it seems to be y equal to mx plus c form, or y is equal to a plus bx, and hence m can be expressed as in terms of rate of change of the response variable. Okay. As I said, the residual, what is basically residual? The difference between the true value and the predicted value y cap, or maybe, right? And now the residual sum of squares is called the error. So sigma I equal to 1 to n yi minus y cap whole square. As yi cap, if you replace something like a plus bxi and keep on simplifying, then you can show that this is going to be the least amount. And from that, we get the normal equations as the sigma y is equal to a na plus b sigma x, sigma xi yi is equal to a plus a sigma xi plus b sigma xi square, right? So this is what I showed you now, right? Hello? Have you noted down all these points carefully?
1 minute, sir.
1 minute.
Yeah, please note down. Here rho xy, you can note down rho xy is the coefficient of correlation between x and y. Noted?
Yes, sir.
Good. So broadly, this concept also come under curve fitting. Okay, so we have simple linear fitting, quadratic fitting, multiple linear fitting, and so on. Okay, but as far as concerned to our syllabus, we have simple linear regression. Of course, we can go if required quadratic and then multiple. Apart from these techniques, we have we also have exponential fitting. Okay, and so on. Growth curves, a lot of things are there. Okay, but all those things may not be there in our syllabus. Okay, we'll focus the contents on the syllabus. Okay, few more points. The correlation coefficient is a measure of the degree of linear relationship between the two variables, say x and y. That means, so it gives some degree of linear relationship. Always coefficient of correlation between +1 and -1. This rho xy lies between +1 and -1 or -1 to +1. By chance, if rho xy gives the value as 1, indicates that all your xi yi points, lying on this regression line. See that the encircled points, is all the encircled points are lying on the red color line by chance? The encircled points, is these points are lying on the red color line by chance?
No, sir.
Means that this data has correlation coefficient less than 1, but not exactly 1. Okay, so when it is exactly 1, all these points lying on the line. Okay,
Yes, sir.
with positive slope. Whereas you may have a regression line like this, negative slope, and all the points are lying on the regression line, then rho xy would be -1. This is what the point here. Okay, right?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you may have tabulated points of x and y. It may not be given which one is dependent, which one is independent, and you are expected to find the regression line of y on x, means that treating y as dependent on x. Then you can go with the formula y minus y bar is equal to rho xy into sigma y by sigma x into x minus x bar. Of course, this equation is same as by solving these two normal equations you will get. Okay, sometimes you may treat x is depends on, then you can use the regression line of the form of x on y is x minus x bar is equal to rho xy into sigma x divided by sigma y whole into y minus y bar. Now let us look at these two equations. What is the intersection point of these two equations? Regression line of y on x and x on y. Can you guess the intersection point? Both the lines are passing through which point?
So both of them are passing through the origin.
Passing through?
Origin.
We're saying this?
N mole.
N mole. Okay. Any other answers? If a line passing through the origin, then what will happen to its y-intercept constant?
So it will become 0.
Is something like that here? The constant term will not appear. What is the constant here? Y bar is taken to the right side. Y bar minus rho xy into sigma y by sigma x into x bar is the constant, and this would be the slope, right? Y equal to
Yes,
mx
sir.
plus c form if you write. Huh?
Yes, sir.
It is having a constant term. How it can pass through the origin? Something like y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. Is it not like this?
Yes, sir.
Then what is x1 y1? Hello?
So here the x1 is x bar and y1 is y bar.
Right. So there are two lines meeting at the means of x and y. Okay. So the two lines are passing through x bar and y bar. Okay. When you solve the two regression lines of this y on x and x on y, you will get the mean of x and mean of y. Okay.
Yes,
Right?
sir. Yes, sir.
So this point you keep in mind. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Can I move on to the next slide? So Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. Sometimes you may be given with ranks, right? Based on your marks, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
The test may be JEE test may be conducted for, let us assume that 450 marks for imagination. Okay. Then out of 450, how many marks you scored? Someone may scored 320, someone may scored something like 120, someone may scored something like 400, and so on. Now, finding the correlation coefficient among the two individuals on participating several such examinations is sometimes difficult, as the values are going to the higher values. Instead, you can rank the people on different examinations or maybe in the different subjects, then accordingly go for finding the correlation between the two persons or the two missions or any of the two parameters. Okay. So in such a case, you are going to allocate the ranks to the data with respect to each variable. How you are going to rank the data points on a particular variable? High value may be given as rank 1. The next highest may be given as rank 2. Next highest may be given as rank 3. Likewise, you will continue till the n values. By chance, if any of the two observations are identical or two or more observations are identical, you are going to allocate the average rank of the corresponding observations. Okay. Got
Yes,
it?
sir.
So means that if your data under each variable there are no repeated observations, you can go for the rank correlation coefficient formula as rho xy is equal to 1 minus 6 sigma di square whole divided by n into n square minus 1, where n is the number of tabulated points, xi by a points, and d is the deviation between this thing, rank x minus rank y. Okay, or x minus or y. So by chance, if the observations are repeated under each variable, say x or y, then probably we are going to assign the repeated ranks to them. When the repeated ranks you are assigning, how do we find the rank correlation? So rho xy is equal to 1 minus 6 sigma di square plus sum of the corrected factor whole divided by n into n square minus 1. As usual, di is the difference between the rank x and rank y. How do we get the sum of a corrected factor? So some rank, say Ri rank, is repeated mi times. So SCF is computed sigma over I mi into mi square minus 1 whole divided by 12. Mi refers that an ith rank repeated mi times in one variable. Okay. You should not take the repetition of both the variables. Okay. So there are 3 observations repeated in x, and there are 2 observations may be repeated in y. So now I is going to be 3 plus 2, 5. Okay. I will vary from 1 to 5. Okay. Have you noted down these 2 formulas? Hello.
So, yes, sir.
So in the next class, we are going to discuss this example. What is the example? Can you note down? The following data shows the number of periods missed by the 7 students taking some maths course, and though the candidate is missing 7 classes in a semester, let us imagine, still he may be permitted to write the examination and secure some grades, and the grades are also given in this. The maths grade of the 7 students is given like this. A student who missed 4 classes might be, he got the score as something like 84. A student who missed 5 classes, his score is observed as 75. A student who missed 3 classes, his score is 65. A student who missed 2 classes only, his score is observed as 90. So what does it mean? Even though a student who is missing more classes than this guy, but still this fellow is scoring more mark than this, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the reason in general?
So he may be good at self-study.
What would be the reason that he may be scoring more marks than this third guy, though he is absent for one more class extra to this third guy comparing? A person who is attending all the classes but not understanding the topics, will he present well in the examination?
No, sir.
No. So his understanding ability and problem solving ability also important, right?
Yes, sir.
A person who missed 1 or 2 classes more than the person who is who missed, and still if he is taking extra time or extra efforts to understand the topics on his own, there may chance that he will score better than the others, right?
Yes, sir.
So in this problem, what we can understand is that if student is taking self-interest, self-motivated, practicing more sums on his own, there is a chance that likely he can get better mark. Okay. So let me find out what would be the estimated maths grade for a student who missed classes 3. True value is 65. With the help of simple linear regression, what is this grade that we are going to observe in the next class? Okay. So you need to find the 2 regression lines. you have the formulas here, 2 regression lines formulas, right? What are the things you need to find out? Y bar, sigma y, sigma x, and x bar. You know how to find sigma y and sigma x as well, rho xy, right? You try whether you are able to find out or not. If you are not able to answer before the next class, we will discuss this example in the next session. Okay? Right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you all then.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Those who have doubts, they can raise the hand signal and I will answer to them. Others can leave. As there are no hands raised, so you don't have doubts, so I would like to end the session.